Let's read.
Coffee, honey?
Written by Adrian Leslie. When I was a little girl, I asked my very wise father why so many operas were in Italian. He said it was because most Italian words end in vowels. It allowed the singers to hold a musical note for a long time. Many years later, I taught Korean American students at a middle school in New York. As soon as I heard Korean, I thought these beautiful sounds could be used in opera too. 사랑해요 and 여보세요 are two good examples. You can hear the vowel sound at the end. I wanted to learn to speak the beautiful sounds of Korean so that I could better communicate with my students. I also wanted to be able to follow my Korean dramas without reading the subtitles. One day, my students were practicing for a culture show with drama, music, and fashion from Korea. A student brought me a cup of coffee. Brian, how do you say coffee in Korean?
커피,
That's so easy to remember. That sounds just like coffee. We began practicing the fashion part of our show. Brian, how do you say fashion in Korean?
패션,
Really? That sounds just like fashion too. One student modeled a traditional Korean wedding dress. How do you say wedding dress in Korean?
웨딩 드레스,
At home, I told my husband the good news. Honey, I'll be able to learn Korean in just a few days. It's just like English. Later on, I noticed that married couples in Korean dramas call each other 여보. The English subtitles translate 여보 to honey. Americans sometimes call their husband or wife honey, and we also call our children honey. Some waitresses call their customers honey. A few days later, I ran into Brian and asked him if 여보 means honey. Brian, does 여보 mean honey?
Well, yes.
So I can call you 여보?
Oh no. Miss Leslie, please don't call me 여보.
I realized 여보 only translates to husband or wife. That day, Brian and I were almost crying because it was so funny. Now I realize that Korean is not such an easy language to learn. There are so many parts that are completely different from English. But I still love the sounds of Korean. So I study Korean almost every day from books, songs, and movies. In the future, I hope to speak Korean just as well as Brian. Adrian Leslie is a famous writer living in New York City.